After Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, and Nepal, another Gen Z protest that rocked the nation is in America's neighbor Mexico. At least 120 people were hurt when thousands of Gen Z protesters took to the streets across Mexico, mainly to denounce rampant corruption and the drug violence that kills tens of thousands of Mexicans every year. Saturday's rally stretched from Tijuana to Oaxaca, with many demonstrators waving the one-piece pirate flag that has evolved into a global Gen Z emblem of rebellion. The protest at Mexico City's Zócalo, the site of President Claudia Sheinbaum's offices, started peacefully, but turned violent as demonstrators threw rocks at riot police, who responded with shields, batons, and fire extinguishers. A small group of hooded protesters tore down fences around the National Palace, where President Claudia Sheinbaum lives, prompting a clash with riot police who deployed tear gas, according to Reuters witnesses. Other marches took place in various cities across Mexico, including in the western state of Michoacan, where anger has flared over the November 1st murder of Uruapan Mayor Carlos Manzo, who was shot dead at a public Day of the Dead event. Some demonstrators in Mexico City directed their anger at Sheinbaum's party, chanting, "Out, Morena." Others called for stronger state efforts to stop crime and violence, shouting, "Carlos did not die, the government killed him." Mexico's President Claudia Sheinbaum condemned the violence and said, "We say no to violence." During a school event in the state of Tabasco, she further questioned how many youths were genuinely involved. If you have a disagreement, you have to demonstrate in a peaceful way. There is never a need to use violence for change. Always the peaceful route, Sheinbaum added.
Next year, a small scholarship for elementary school, and we are working on it. Where should young people be? On the streets or in school? And of the Mexicans. That's why today, when there was a protest there in Mexico City where they say that Martinez sent young people, but in reality there were very few young people, and that they violently removed some barriers and broke windows, we say no to violence. If you don't agree, you should protest peacefully. You should never use violence to bring about change. Always follow the peaceful path. How about having a university here in the afternoon? Would you like that? Over there, the older folks already applauded.
A group identifying itself as Generation Z Mexico, which urged people to join the demonstrations, released a social media manifesto claiming it is nonpartisan and represents young Mexicans frustrated with violence, corruption, and abuses of authority. However, the Sheinbaum administration also suggested that right-leaning political rivals helped drive the marches and that bots amplified them online. Mexico City's Public Safety Secretary, Pablo Vázquez, said in a press conference that 100 police officers were injured, including 40 who required hospital treatment. Another 20 civilians were also injured, Vázquez told local media outlet Milenio. The Public Safety Secretary also said 20 people were arrested and another 20 were referred for administrative offenses.
Good afternoon. Thank you to the media and many thanks to the Secretary of Government, Cesar Cravioto. By instructions of our Head of Government, Clara Brugada, I would like to inform the public about the events that took place during today's demonstration in the downtown area of Mexico City. As was reported in various media outlets, the Secretariat of Citizen Security carried out an initial operational deployment. It was made up of 800 members of the Preventive Police, the Metropolitan Police, as well as personnel from the Subsecretariat of Traffic Control and paramedics from our Rescue and Medical Emergency Squad. In compliance with police action protocols, my fellow officers accompanied this march to guarantee the right to free demonstration and public expression. For this reason, they only carried personal protective equipment consisting of a shield, helmet, knee pads, and elbow pads, as well as some fire extinguishers to prevent possible outbreaks of fire that could endanger the demonstrators. For many hours, this demonstration proceeded and unfolded peacefully until a group of masked individuals began to commit violent acts, making it necessary to increase the police presence to ensure the safety and the right to free expression of the rest of the participants. In response, this violent group directly attacked police officers with blows and by throwing explosive devices. In addition, some officers were stripped of their shields and their communication radios were taken from them. The police officers managed to push back this violent group, from whom they confiscated objects suitable for aggression, such as stones, sticks, hammers, and chains. They also took away drain covers that had been broken off from the Zócalo itself, various items taken from the stone furniture there, among others. As a result of these events, we report that up to this moment, we have 60 police officers injured, who were treated on site for minor injuries, and 40 who were taken to receive hospital care, 36 of them for bruises, cuts, and minor injuries, and 4 who are receiving specialized care for trauma and other injuries that do not put their lives at risk. We are working on identifying all the individuals who committed acts constituting a crime during the demonstration and initiating the corresponding investigation files in coordination with the Mexico City Attorney General's office. At this time, and as a result of this mobilization, 20 people were detained and brought before the public prosecutor to determine responsibility and carry out the corresponding investigations, as well as the referral of 20 more people for administrative offenses. It is important to point out that the Mexico City Police only carried out containment work and never repression, without responding to the provocations of these violent and organized groups. Meanwhile, the General Directorate of Internal Affairs will review, as is protocol in every mobilization, to ensure that actions were taken in accordance with our police and Mexico City government protocols. We want to be very clear. We condemn the violent acts that occurred during today's demonstration, and we disapprove of the existence of these organized groups, as well as those who, often from afar, validate, support, and back these acts through social media. We regret that the legitimate causes for which many marched are overshadowed by groups seeking to incite violence and destabilize. We strongly reject the fact that a march, which was called as an act of protest against violence, ended up having violence and aggression as its main form of expression. Precisely violence and aggression. To all my fellow police officers, I recognize and thank you for your courage, the courage with which you took to the streets today to guide and accompany this mobilization. I reiterate to all police officers in Mexico City that you have not only the recognition, but also the support and backing of the government of Mexico City and of this institution. Together with the leadership, I will personally go to the health centers to check on your condition, to be there with you, listen to you, and address any needs you may have. Today, more than ever, the Mexico City Police is an institution allied with the citizens, whose purpose is centered on promoting and guaranteeing the full exercise of everyone's rights, and which has an unwavering commitment to building peace. We reaffirm our commitment to work to guarantee the right to free demonstration and public expression, always acting in strict adherence to police protocols. Thank you very much.